Welcome. This is another Tactical Technician video brought to you from Diagnation. This is a quick video about a vehicle I had, came in on the hook, a crank no start, but more or less a crank with a grunt no start. And I immediately grabbed my amp clamp. I believe I might have had another channel on the battery. You're not seeing it here. Basically, that would be battery voltage. But basically, what I just want to concentrate on this real quickly. This is a high amp clamp at the battery when I attempted to start this vehicle. And the waveform kind of caught me, I gave it a little, like a second thought. I gave it some, a little bit of intuition about this, and I wouldn't want this to happen to shops. And this almost happened to me some years back. We basically have a engine that is seized. And what the real truth teller to me is the amount of amperage it pulls. Right when I started to crank it, which is about right here, you'll see, which is let's see, about right here. That's where I turn the key to start. That's the solenoid amperage. You can see it right here. That's about how many amps is that? Okay, let me get the cursor down and see. Starts about right here. We can see about 3 amps. I'm sorry, let me get these cursors back to a single cursor. We see about 3 amps here, 4 amps, and it goes up to about 15. That's the pull of solenoid, the pull and hold in windings of the solenoid. And then the contacts latch. And then look what happens here. Look at how much amperage comes. We got a little movement right around here. You see like a slight amount of movement, but this is a flat line. That's we're looking about 272 amps, and there's no movement of the crankshaft. That's a lot of pull for a starter. And I said, wow, what do I do next? I'm probably gonna grab a wrench and put it on the crank bolt. And I did, and I could not turn the crankshaft. So just something to be mindful of. Whenever we see this pattern, that's a red flag, but you don't want to call the starter as being the issue. I thought maybe possibly a bound up starter by itself could cause this, but nonetheless, it's worth it. If you see this on a capture, this flat, smooth line, you want to get a breaker bar and a socket on that crank bolt and see if it turns, because there's no movement, nothing that validates movement here, like relative compression going up and down. There's a little bit here, and then everything is just stationary. You just have a starter that's drawing current, and there's no movement of the crankshaft right here. We just have a crankshaft that's just stuck, that a starter is kind of fighting and unable to turn. So just something to bear in mind. I think if you see this capture in the past, in the future, just be your next thing to do is to put a crank bolt on this. I have heard of shops that horror stories about, people changing engines because something was bound up on the other end, like something the serpentine belt drives, an alternator or something that binds up. But nonetheless, in a case like this, the correct diagnosis is that the engine's seized, and we wouldn't want to put a starter in this. So just be mindful when you see that high flat line right there on a current draw test on a crank no start. Anyway, thanks a lot. Enjoy the video.